The following video was captured by two young friends who were driving on a road in the fields that was owned by one of their family members. They do this ever so often when hanging out on the weekends. Tonight was a bit strange, however, because they thought to have seen something in the distance and kept driving towards it.
My camera can't pick it up. What are those?
Dude.
What are those? Why does it look like they have heads? Bro, that's actually people. Bro!
Please just get out of here, dude.
It's quite strange how several pairs of what appears to be torsos, dressed in white, can be seen, lined up next to each other. The two believed that this perhaps had been a cult that was trespassing and maybe even performing some form of ritual. But if that's not the case, what could we be looking at here exactly? Pretty creepy encounter though, that's for sure. The following video was shared by Sherman O'Neill, who is the owner of a local trucking business in Oklahoma. He states that a driver of his had captured something rather unsettling one night while being on the roads to deliver a freight. He was so freaked out about this incident that the driver contacted Sherman immediately. Apparently, the driver saw something on the road, and after realizing this, he pulled over to check if anybody got hurt. But there was no trace of anybody.
Yeah. Let it roll. Come on, let it roll. Right there. Whoosh.
Whoa.
It looks like a child in some form of old clothing, maybe a dress perhaps. Of course, it's almost impossible for a single child to be out there alone at night, walking the highway in pitch darkness. Which is why they believe this could actually be a ghost. What do you think? I actually don't have another explanation for it. Now we want to take a look at a security camera situated in front of an open parking area at an unknown location. It's quite strange since as the car pulls up, we do have to realize that nobody seems to be sitting in it. Of course, the security guard believes this to be a prank at first and is walking around the car to see what exactly is going on. But then he gets spooked right out of his trousers as a strange object is moving out of the top of the car. Some people believe that this was a weird spirit encounter, but of course this also could have been all a well-orchestrated hoax. The video quality is not that great, so I think it will unfortunately stay a pixelated mystery. The next video was captured by Pedro and Hector Flores, and they were on a long road trip the following day. After a few hours, they noticed that there seemed to be an accident scene on the side of the road, and decided to record this encounter. As soon as they passed by the side of the accident, the video is only a few seconds long. Take a look. You probably didn't notice anything strange, but let's take a closer look. A weird person can be seen in the back, right behind the train tracks. It turned out that, in fact, a fatal accident had occurred here, and some people believe that this could have been the manifestation of the driver that had left our world that day. Either that or an inexplicable creature. Do you think this could be the explanation for this sighting? I couldn't say. Maybe it was a ghost. Apparently there was no bystander crouching behind the train tracks at the time. So, what was it? The next video was a submission and was supposedly filmed by the dashcam of a police cruiser. The officer on patrol was Ben Malik. Didn't expect to see anything extraordinary that night. However, this should change rather quickly. After driving for a while, the officer notices a strange person in the left side of the road, and it seemed that they had started a fire. Of course, this was more than reason enough to pull over for him. Based on his reports, the woman seemed to have a burning face, which the man could not explain in the slightest. And this is another case for which most people simply don't have an answer for. The man believes that the woman was performing a ritual of some sorts, and it is stated that he arrested the mysterious woman shortly after. Who knows what exactly this dashcam had recorded here? What do you think was going on? The following clip was shared from the inside of BGR's car. He tells us, "I was sitting in my car today and this guy drives up and parks. I don't think much of it at first. The guy had a beard and glasses on. After a few minutes of looking at my phone, I glanced up and noticed him staring directly at me, except now he had no face." This sounds quite terrifying, doesn't it? Let's take a look at the actual recording. Whoever is looking at the man here appears to have a deformed face indeed. There are no apparent eyes or other facial features, which makes this event really spooky. What could have been the cause for this bizarre picture? Was the driver just wearing a mask to hopefully scare the person recording? Who knows? The following unsettling videos were recorded from inside the car of Beth. She saw something creepy appear out of thin air right across the street in the woods. And of course she turned her camera on and started capturing this quite eerie event. She shared it with her friends and family at first, so she certainly wasn't looking for any attention.
Talia, get over here. I can't even zoom in any closer. You see it? It just walks back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I initially took the video to send it to my friend. He paces back and forth for hours and hours, not just for 20 minutes at a time. This is hours and hours and hours and days, weeks. I mean, here we are a month and a half later and it's been still there.
She states that this went on for over a month at this point, and that this shadow can mostly be seen from a distance only.
Where we see that figure, it just walks back and forth every day, all day. Now, I've been over there a couple of times. As I walk up on it, there's just nothing there.
It's quite baffling for sure. People suspected that it might have been a strange reflection from somewhere, while others think this to be impossible, or that somebody was playing a creepy prank. Whatever the answer, it's certainly a creepy incident. Now to an even more mysterious recording. The uploader states that it was recorded while driving along a road in the city, somewhere in China. It was a nice and sunny day at first, but all of a sudden the weather changed, and besides an unusual strong wind breeze, there was something else that could be seen in the sky.
干成火花了，这啥情况啊？ 哎呦我操！哎呦我操！哎呦我操！哎呦我操！
What appears to be a strange bird, or, like some people speculated, a dragon can be seen flying through the sky. And then there is a scary looking spark of fire, making some believe that this might have been caused by the creature touching the power wires. A nice film project perhaps, but what makes all of this a little bit weirder is that the same day there have been several other people recording this incident from all kinds of different angles. Take a look.
这个热呀！
哎呦我的妈呀！雷电那样的都着火了，这是。这咋整的？哎呦我路上了。
So, all just a big hoax? Some nice editing? Or just an inexplicable encounter? Now we are checking out another submission. The video was captured by a couple who was out the following day to go on a nice hiking trip in the mountains. It is said that several people had gone missing in this area over the years, so there's quite a bit of urban legends and ghost stories that people like to talk about. The trip went quite well, but after returning to their car, something quite scary unfolded, for what they had no explanation for. Looks like a person that is lying right on top of their car and staring into the windshield. But how's that possible? The couple was quite scared and drove away as fast as they could based on their reports. Did maybe somebody play a prank on them? If not, perhaps some well done editing? Or did something otherworldly unfold here? Maybe one of the missing souls? This one is a strange video that was captured one night while two friends were traveling through a town. They were talking about an urban legend at the time of this video that states that a woman in white can be seen ever so often walking these exact streets and scaring people in the area for whatever reason. Of course, they didn't expect to see anything that night, but it would seem that they captured something at the time without realizing. After going over the recording, they saw this in the left mirror. Some say that this was the spirit that is said to roam these streets at night. Could this be? Whatever it is, looks actually pretty sinister in my opinion. And if it is not just video editing, maybe we are looking at a malevolent spirit here indeed. The following clip is as strange as it is creepy. It was also captured by a couple who was driving through a rural area in their hometown. It is unknown if this area is notorious for any kind of ghost activity, but the next encounter made the two really question reality. They state that they were just driving along the road, then taking a left turn, and then a person appeared right out of nowhere. Of course, they were pretty freaked out and got out of the car immediately to check on the woman, but to their surprise, there was nobody there. A shadow hand seems to be moving in a downwards motion towards the windshield from the top of their car. Of course, it was impossible that anybody was on top of it after they took off again, so they suspect that this must have been a scary spirit encounter, and they state that they avoided this part of town for a long time after seeing this. Understandable and spooky. This video was uploaded by Moto2Wrist, who was riding his bicycle on a deserted mountain road one night. This road is situated in Hampi, which is also referred to as the Ghost City. He was on a day trip to the Ghost City, and after spending many hours there, he made his way back to the resort. However, due to the darkness, he missed a turn and got lost for a while on these dark roads. He was pretty unnerved, and there was no sign of any civilization. At this point in time, he tells us that he saw a woman who was dressed like a bride walking on the side of the road. It does appear to be a woman in a white dress that is walking in pitch darkness, and I feel like she looks pregnant perhaps, but that of course could also just be her weirdly shaped dress. So if this wasn't just a confused woman, what else could it be? Maybe a spirit? What a scary thought.